Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B, the Forresters might conceal their plans, which would make Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, uneasy. Forrester Creations has undoubtedly gone through a difficult time, but the family is ready to unite and fight for a better future. Thorsten Kaye's character Ridge Forrester has been complaining about some unsatisfactory sales figures. It is obvious that the Forresters must take immediate action to prevent their fashion firm from becoming a true sinking ship. It's understandable that Ridge is concerned given all of the recent defeats. R.J. Forrester's, Brian Nicoletti, plan might be useful because Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, will stop at nothing to make things better. Recently, RJ discussed the potential for a new youth collection to revolve around Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. Ridge and Steffi will soon hear that pictures too, and they could believe it's exactly what the business needs at this moment. Naturally, B&B emphasized the value of confidentiality regarding Hope Logan Spencer's, Annika Noel, debut at Logan. With all the excitement around her mystery designer, Katie Logan Spencer, Heather Tom, generated a lot of talk. Now it may be the Forresters' chance to turn the tables and leave Katie as well as Bill in the dark on what they've got in the works. Bill and Katie might learn that Forrester Creations is working on a top-secret project that has the potential to completely alter their lives. At the very least, the Forresters should hide the fact that Electra will represent this young line and the upcoming ad. After Hope's great premiere, Bill might start to worry that the Logan excitement will fade. Bill might start to worry that Hope's line will be swiftly forgotten if the Forresters start creating more buzz of their own. Logan's business could suffer greatly if the Forresters are able to make a big impression with Electra and their new youth line. Bill might be upset that Logan is no longer being discussed in the media, and Forrester Creations might be able to recapture some favorable media exposure. Stay tuned for further confrontations between Katie and Brooke Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang, amid all this fashion turmoil, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. The most recent developments at Forrester Creations have caused a stir in the high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion, where brutal ambition and familial loyalty collide and every sketch has the potential to start a war. What started out as a low-key internal strategy meeting has grown into a massive counteroffensive aimed at regaining control from the fledgling Logan fashion company. At the center of it all is Bill Spencer, the cunning media tycoon whose significant investment in Logan has suddenly put him in danger of suffering a significant setback. According to people close to both camps, Forrester's top-secret initiative is already causing anxiety among the community, and the fallout might push Logan into damage management mode sooner rather than later. For months, the tension has been rising. Forrester Creations was on the defensive after Logan's successful debut, which was fueled by poached personnel and aggressive timing. Hope Logan suffered a public humiliation that still hurts as a result of her covert decision to design for her Aunt Katie's new business. The damage was only made worse by Eric Forrester's prior involvement. However, rolling over has never been a trait of the Forresters. Ridge Forrester, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, and Brooke Logan Forrester have opted for a more surgical method rather than public outbursts or hollow threats. Their strategy is intricate, costly, and purposefully opaque, exactly the kind of organization that prospers in the shadows until it is too late for competitors to react. A prominent worldwide push is the strategy's central component. Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke have discreetly planned a quick excursion to Monaco, one of the world's most exclusive fashion markets. Locking down significant international contracts and securing long-term partnerships that would cement Forrester Creations' place as the leading luxury house is the simple but big goal. Monaco's powerful buyers and affluent consumers are more than just status symbols. They stand for financial flow, publicity, and the kind of momentum that can make up for previous setbacks. The Forresters intend to give Logan a fait accompli, an increased worldwide presence that no amount of local chatter can match, by acting quickly and covertly. The younger generation is getting ready for a local strike while the older generation works the global circuit. R.J. Forrester has become the mastermind behind a daring internal makeover. Electra Forrester, the young lady who has already demonstrated her ability to attract attention, is the focus of his proposal. RJ believes she will take Hope for the future's place as the new face of a rejuvenated youth line. The reasoning is commercial and icy. There was a void once Hope went. Filling it with Electra undermines Logan's story while also giving Forrester a new, marketable image. Logan's flagship designer loses some of her distinct charm if the public starts to identify Electra rather than Hope with the trendy, young look. Uncomfortable queries may come from financial backers who hopped on board due to Hope's star power. The timing is crucial. In order to prevent Logan from ever having a clear target, Forrester plans to execute these tactics in a methodical order. The Monaco outreach is the first, and it has sparked quiet industry discussion about Forrester's revitalized global power. Then comes the statement from Electra, which is presented as a natural development rather than a reaction. The cumulative impact is intended to give the appearance that Logan's early successes were fleeting gains rather than long-term changes in the power dynamics. That impression can be disastrous in a field where perception is everything. Being outwitted is not something that Bill Spencer puts up with. Fashion was never the only reason he invested in Logan. It was a continuation of decades of antagonism with Ridge and the Forrester name, and it was personal. Every accomplishment Logan had seemed like a direct blow to the family who had rejected him. Now, it might be the other way around. According to early reports, Bill has already started looking for information, using his contacts in the media and retail industry to piece together the Forresters' plans. His suspicions have further grown due to the secrecy surrounding the trip to Monaco and the Electra pitch. People notice when Dollar Bill begins to ask inquiries. The project has already accomplished its initial goal, which is to get under his skin, as evidenced by the fact that he is asking them now. The atmosphere at Logan headquarters is more nuanced. Publicly confident, Katie Logan Spencer maintains that their creative vision and family togetherness will overcome any obstacle. Hope is reportedly concentrating on the task itself while still getting adjusted to her dual roles as a designer and family lightning rod. However, private discussions present a less tranquil image. Some team members are concerned about Forrester's potential to quickly erase her impact on the youth market. If Electra starts attracting the same demographic, investors who are persuaded that Hope was the unique face of a new generation would become agitated. Liam and Will, two of Bill's own children, are once again juggling conflicting allegiances. In particular, Will bears the weight of several secrets, and each escalation between the houses just makes him feel more compelled to take a side. The industry as a whole is keeping a close eye on this. This level of rivalry rarely remains controlled, according to fashion insiders. Influencers on social media, magazine editors, and retail shoppers have already started picking sides. Some have done so covertly, while others have made statements in public that further heighten the tension. In addition to generating income, a prosperous Monaco controlled by the Forresters would produce the kind of glossy publicity that money cannot readily purchase. On the other hand, the story might change if Logan can reveal weaknesses in the strategy, possibly by stepping up its own global initiatives or by emphasizing Electra's relative inexperience. According to reports, Bill is considering both choices and is willing to spend whatever is required to safeguard both his investment and his pride. Another level of instability is introduced by family dynamics. There is personal significance to Brooke's participation in the trip to Monaco. She has spent years attempting to reconcile her tangled past with Katie with her devotion to her girls. It is difficult to support a plan that specifically targets Hope's new workplace, but Forrester Creations' survival has always come first. Ridge, who has always been the protective patriarch, views the initiative as both a personal and financial need. Steffi's practical nature guarantees that the strategy remains results-oriented rather than sentimental. They are a powerful team that Bill has previously underestimated at his own risk. On the Logan side, Katie is still adamant about creating something enduring for her family. Hope's covert defection and the ensuing public outcry have already passed. To find out if that resilience extends to the boardroom and the balance sheet, Forrester has issued a new challenge. Bill has leverage because of his financial support, but any major setback for Logan also affects his own portfolio and reputation. The man who used to take great satisfaction in always being 10 steps ahead must now deal with the unsettling possibility that the Forresters have caught up. As the meetings in Monaco get near and RJ. The aura surrounding both houses becomes heavier as the Electra pitch is refined. In the hallways, employees circulate rumors. Uncertain if their sketches will be relevant in a few weeks, designers put in more hours. One set of talking points for success and another for a catastrophe are prepared by publicists. Even minor leaks can turn into big headlines in this climate. The fact that information about Forrester's project has started to spread at all points to either intentional strategic messaging or an issue with information security. In either case, the outcome is the same. Logan's early momentum is directly threatened and Bill Spencer is tense. The outcome of Forrester's calculated risk will be known in the upcoming weeks. Logan may have to rethink its identity if the international tales come to pass and Electra's star soars. Bill will grasp the opportunity with his usual aggressiveness if the strategy fails, if purchasers stick with hope or if logistical obstacles impede the Monaco push. Neither side will leave gently, according to history. A new stage of the fashion war, characterized by discreet planning rather than public spectacle, has begun with a mystery designer and an unexpected debut date. The house that recognizes that the riskiest decisions in this industry are those made when no one is looking could ultimately emerge victorious. The fact that the stakes are bigger than ever is still evident. Relationships with family, careers, and wealth are all at stake. Forrester Creations is wagering that Logan's danger can be eliminated by combining global reach with generational reinvention. Bill Spencer is wagering that his network, his resources, and his unwavering determination to win will be sufficient to change the tide once more. The next phase of a rivalry that has already changed the fashion scene in Los Angeles is somewhere between those two places. The only thing that is definite is that neither side is willing to give up without a struggle. The most recent events at Forrester Creations have rocked the Spencer empire in the high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion, where rivalries and seasonal fads burn hotter than any catwalk spotlight and family allegiances break as readily. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan's planned attempt to establish their own domain with the fledgling House of Logan has abruptly veered into uncharted terrain. Bill, the rich publisher, is far from tranquil after hearing rumors about a closely guarded endeavor within the Forrester headquarters. Even many Forrester employees are still in the dark about the effort, which seems to be intended to do more than just make up lost ground. It also aims to permanently undermine Logan's momentum. The knowledge that Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke may have outwitted him has unexpectedly shaken Bill, a guy who takes great satisfaction in always being 10 steps ahead. The question of whether Logan can withstand the impending blow or whether the Spencer's audacious experiment is going to suffer a severe hit is raised by the new fashion house, which at one point appeared ready to upend the established order in the business. The current situation began months ago when Katie Logan decided she had had enough of living in the shadow of her sister Brooke and the Forrester machine. She started Logan as a direct challenge to the house that had long dominated the city's fashion scene with Bill's significant financial support. Early actions were combative and intimate. Eric Forrester was persuaded to design covertly for the new label since he felt ignored and undervalued by his own family. Ridge has never forgotten the public humiliation that followed the disclosure of that deal. Fresh fuel was then added when Hope Logan quietly left Forrester Creations to become the creative power behind Logan's subsequent collection. Brooke was taken aback by her dramatic runway performance, revealing that she was the designer even though she was still officially under contract elsewhere. The rest of the Forrester executive suite was left frantically trying to contain the fallout. Logan appeared to have taken control of the story for a short while. Hope experienced the creative freedom she had long alleged was denied to her under Steffi's leadership. Katie relished the independence, and Bill rejoiced in the wins. However, the Forresters have never been a family that endures protracted periods of defeat. A different kind of labor has been going on behind the shiny glass of their offices. Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke have been consumed in recent weeks by a top-secret project, according to several people close to the company. By design, details are still few. There have been off-site meetings. Digital files are confined to a small inner circle and are encrypted. Even Eric, who used to be the company's creative center, has been carefully kept out of some conversations. Anyone keeping an eye on the balance of power should be alarmed by what has been revealed. The endeavor is not restricted to a single collection or a regular marketing campaign. It seems to combine a determined attempt to regain the youth-oriented market sector that Hope previously controlled and that Logan has attempted to own with an aggressive international expansion strategy. Monaco is one obvious component of the strategy that is already taking shape. During a well-planned journey, Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke have positioned themselves to secure important European accounts and prominent clients. Re-establishing Forrester's worldwide dominance before Logan can make a significant international impact is the obvious objective. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, RJ Forrester has proposed a more practical solution. Forrester wants to erase Hope's legacy and win back the younger audience who used to adore her designs by boosting Electra and reframing the Hope for the Future concept under new creative supervision. The message is clear: Hope's departure was not a permanent loss of skill or vision, but rather a brief disturbance. If the move is effective, Logan would appear to be a one-hit wonder rather than a long-term competitor. According to Bill Spencer, the culmination of these efforts has resulted in something uncommon: true fear. His career has been based on his ability to discern markets, manage narratives through Spencer publications, and use capital with brutal efficiency. Logan was meant to be the pinnacle of that ideology, a fashion firm supported by Spencer funds, partially staffed by personnel stolen from rival brands, and enhanced by the media conglomerate he owns. His confidence was bolstered by his early achievements. He positioned Katie as the new First Lady of Los Angeles fashion, openly insulted Ridge, and wrote Forrester off as a dusty relic. Calculus has evolved since then. He has learned of the covert project through sources he does not fully trust, and the fragmentary image is nearly worse than complete awareness. Is Forrester getting ready to file a lawsuit regarding Hope's contract? Are they putting together a counter-collection that will take precedence over Logan's upcoming performance? Have they already gotten agreements from influencers and buyers to deprive Logan of oxygen during the pivotal upcoming season? In private discussions at Spencer Publications and within the Logan offices, those questions have started to come up. Even when her husband tries to project the old swagger, Katie, who has invested both professional and emotional capital in the endeavor, recognizes his uneasiness. Still high after her premiere, Hope has become more reserved as whispers start to circulate. Wyatt, who was previously asked back to assist with strategy and marketing, has privately voiced concerns about the viability of a company that relies so largely on conflict. Even Will Spencer, who recently joined Logan following his sudden departure from Forrester, is torn between family loyalty and the fact that the other side might be more equipped for a protracted battle than anyone first thought. The possible blow to Logan is already beginning to take shape in a number of ways. In terms of finances, the house is still largely reliant on Bill's willingness to continue covering losses as the brand stabilizes. Any protracted period of uncertainty or bad headlines could compel challenging discussions regarding schedules and finances. The loss of exclusive ownership of Hope's vision would have a big creative impact. Logan runs the risk of appearing reactive rather than creative if Forrester is successful in relaunching a youth line with Electra at its core. Like unpaid debts, the legal ramifications of Hope's previous contract and the earlier use of Eric's drawings remain unresolved. Ridge has never concealed his opinion that some intellectual property is still up for debate. A concerted legal and PR effort might occupy Logan's legal team for months while depleting funds and time. Relationships that were already tense are already breaking under the strain on a more intimate level. Donna Logan's marriage to Eric is still marred by her earlier reticence on Hope's relocation. Brooke's feelings of betrayal by her daughter and sister have not completely subsided. Across the aisle, a young romance that had just lately established solid foundation has been put to the test by Will's duty to hide secrets from Electra. Although publicly united in the face of an outside danger, Bill and Katie's marriage exhibits subtle evidence of the stress that arises when one partner's fixation with winning starts to eclipse the enterprise's initial purpose. Katie wanted autonomy and room for creativity. Bill wished to make Ridge feel less important. There is no longer perfect alignment between the two drives. Fashion conflicts of this intensity seldom conclude with a single knockout blow, according to industry observers. They typically result in a sequence of increasingly aggressive actions, each intended to compel the opposing side to make an expensive reaction. That's precisely what Forrester's covert operation seems to be. An attempt to take the lead while Logan is still enjoying its first significant achievement. The Forresters have prevented Bill from getting the clear target he wants by operating covertly and managing the dissemination of information. He does not yet completely comprehend what he is battling, thus he is unable to launch a full-scale media counteroffensive through ion fashion. That doubt is damaging. He is forced to prepare for several situations at once, which results in a thinner distribution of resources and attention than he prefers. In the meantime, Logan's daily operations carry on under a cloud. Meetings for design have an advantage. Plans for marketing are updated more often. Contingency language is being used in discussions that were focused on ambitious expansion. In a subtle admission that the brand she assisted in creating at Forrester might no longer belong to her, Hope has started sketching ideas that could exist apart from the hope for the future name. Knowing that relying too much on one designer or one unique idea makes the house vulnerable, Katie has begun reaching out to additional expertise. For his part, Bill has increased the frequency of strategy meetings behind closed doors, often without Katie present, an old tendency that seldom conveys confidence. The larger Los Angeles fashion scene is observing with a mix of calculation and wonder. After Logan's premiere, buyers who hedged their bets are now stealthily re-evaluating. Influencers who applauded Hope's audacious action are eager to watch if the narrative stays one of victorious reinvention or turns into a warning about the dangers of opposing an entrenched dynasty. The atmosphere at Forrester is more orderly than victorious. Gloating is premature, as Ridge has made apparent. Steffi still prioritizes international relations and operational performance. Brooke appears committed to making sure that family loyalty eventually triumphs over short-term professional setbacks, even as she continues to tend to the personal wounds of the previous months.